All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, New Year's, Orthodox Christmas, MLK Day, Don Lemon getting arrested day, Takeover of Greenland Day, whatever holiday you celebrate. But it's my first video of the year, and that means we have to talk about money, strategy, and the stock that I bought on Friday that probably a lot of you think is very, very boring, especially in the world of spaceships and rocket ships and quantum and AI. But believe me, I think you're going to like this one. But before we talk about that, we have to address the elephant in the room, really, and that is what's going to happen this year, the major theme. Now, I've been saying this on stream, but essentially, if you've been watching things going on so far, you may have heard this last year. That theme is called Run It Hot. So this is very important. And what it really means is that the Federal Reserve, central bankers, even the administration, they're all having this realization, whether it's based on the economy or for political purposes, that you're not going to get inflation dramatically dropping below 2%. I mean, it's not like we were pre 2018. And the idea is if you can't crush inflation like that, they're probably going to let the economy run hot. So that means slightly higher inflation, but still below the 5, 6s, and 7s, probably around 3, letting the labor market stay very tight. Again, you've probably heard of this low hire, low fire environment. Prices being up, but it's all pretty much in the name of growth. But now this is the thing you got to realize. It is a midterm year. So this is not only just the Fed and central banks, like I'm saying, this is also the administration where they're willing to run the economy at full throttle, try to get growth above trend. Maybe you get some higher stimulus, and then they're going to probably supplement it with tariff, stimulus, policies, you name it. Just anything, government spending, deregulation, AI growth, anything of GDP, that is probably going to be the main focus this year. So, why are we talking about that? And how is this going to affect your long term? It actually has one very, very big implication. And that, quite simply, you might not want to be holding a lot of cash this year. Remember, last year we came into it, we waited for some good deals, we were able to scoop them up. That was all great. And now this year, I already used it on this purchase and I'm already down on cash. I'm sure you've already seen gold and silver. This is kind of all hinting at what I just told you. So it creates a specific environment, essentially. High growth should be good for earnings. Inflation is not necessarily going to be high, but it'll probably be hard to go lower if you're getting stimulus, the tax bill, the rate cuts, all of these things. And that's going to affect your purchasing power, which should affect your investments in long term. And then now, here's the thing, because I know you might even see the futures, people freaking out over the geopolitics and all this stuff. But if you are in the camp of, I'm going to wait for a crash and all this stuff, we might get some volatility this year, but I would not be sitting there trying to wait around before you start your long term. We're going to talk about it. Remember, we are doing the rebuild of the long term. I made the videos very simple last year. That's what I'm planning on doing here today too, because I bought this play on Friday. And we're going to go through it all. This is the first time I'm sharing it with anybody, but like I'm trying to tell you here, man, you want to start, get along the rebuild, and little by little, it does not matter how fast or slow. I mean, long story short, I would do anything except for nothing, but you got to be wise. That doesn't mean you put a bunch of doggy poop in your long term, but this might be a year where you're going to really want to put your portfolio to work. And now we got some really good deals still. This is what I was clamoring about a lot last year. So, that being said, if you are going to be getting a run at hot environment, you're going to want to have assets. You don't want to be reckless, and something that is both defensive, reliable, high yielding, and still giving you that upside wherever the economy goes. That is the idea. So now I guess I might as well just tell you what I bought, my friends. Here it is. Do you know what this is? 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 So yeah, man. I bought Kimberly Clark, KMB. I got 10 shares for around $99 in the long term, or $99.50. In the big account, I got 3 shares on Colt YouTube, and then I got 2 on Colt Sister. So why did I buy this company? Because it's a brand that has been around for 150 years. All of you should know Huggies, Kleenex, tampons, paper towels, Depends. I was answering questions. They said I'll answer some questions on Friday. And they're like, is this a product that I find in the bathroom? And I said, it literally depends, like the adult diapers. So yeah, but you know these brands, Tylenol, Benadryl. It's actually crazy. This is all because of the Kenvue acquisition, which is both good and bad. But yeah, you should know every single one of these. It is a dividend aristocrat, believe it or not. 53 years of consecutive raises. I do not like the payout ratio. That's the only thing that's bad after the purchase. It should be manageable, assuming nothing goes wrong with Kenvue and then they don't have any problems. And right now, too, like from a valuation perspective, the normal PE is kind of high, not compared to like Nvidia or something, but in general, it's not like you're getting the best deal per se. But the forward PE is absolutely at a discount. I mean, just because of some of these recent changes. And then here's the thing, it ties into the run it hot thing. We got some good growth last year. We have a big portfolio that's building. Even the small account is building up, and we have some good growth. And I do think that we're going to get a couple more options this year. That's why I wanted to start, get some good dividend names. And essentially, if you could get something yielding almost double the Fed funds rate, we are expecting more rate cuts. Even if it stays at this level, even a couple more, I mean, this is now, the world is changing. You guys remember when we made the bill video, you were getting 6%, almost 7% on your cash. There was a lot of more riskier names that were paying like that, but now things are doing decent. We have a little bit more clarity on the future, but now the Fed funds rate, you're getting like 3.2, 3.4 on your cash. So something yielding 5, I think it's a good deal. I do think Kimberly can go lower ever since they announced the Kenvue acquisition. That was like their biggest one-day drop since like 1987. So they could go a little bit lower, but I don't think it should yield more than 6, 7% at the very worst. So I decided to put one deposit in and start going from there. So that is what I bought. I hope it helps you out. But now I got 2 more plays for you. And these are the ones I'm going to watch, because if you saw last year, I kept buying TAP. I would have bought TAP again. That one had a 4% yield. It's, again, I don't think the beer industry, I think they priced in all that. I gave you all the reasons for it, but essentially I didn't buy TAP because it's up like 10, 12% now at this point. You wouldn't be able to capture the dividend. So that's one I'm pretty much going to watch this year. If that one does come back, Kimberly Clark goes up, I am going to be focusing on building the one with the cheaper and better value. But for now, I think it's a great place to start on Kimberly Clark. And now the third play I'd want you to watch, I don't own this. I own TAP, I own Kimberly Clark, but now the third one, Adabe. I was talking about this on stream, and then this will probably be the growth name of the year. Like I said, I don't own it yet. I'm not guaranteed to buy it, but essentially, if some of these more defensive, high margin dividend kings, if they start ripping like they have this year and just all start taking off, I am probably going to pick up something that is the growth name and down 30, 40%, kind of like Adabe, especially since they have high margin. They're in a class of their own in terms of being able to make billions of dollars a month off a service subscription. I know there's risk with AI and all that, so I don't own it yet. I think that one could go down a little bit more too, but I'm going to be having my eyes on it. Otherwise, any of the other names we have in the portfolio, a lot of them bounce back here towards the end of the year and the beginning of the year. Some of the ones I bought last year that started to drop, like Chipotle, NVO, Sweet Greens. Some of them I'm a little bit more, again, I didn't put too big of a deposit into those, but if they start to drop again, I will consider those. Otherwise, I'm going to be building around some of these good values and then seeing where it leads us. So that is what I have for you in terms of the plays. We talked about the run it hot. I guess for bubbles, I've been saying this a lot on stream. I hope you pay attention. I hate these. I think these are the crappiest stocks in the world, but because I've never been, I don't think any of you have been, but space. That right now is bubbling up. I said that first day back on the stream. They already took off a decent amount from then. So watch out for that. I think if you are going to be looking for some speculation this year, and again, I hope you see all the changes we've made, you focus on the long term, you are going to win no matter what. You go for the speculation. I have seen the craziest things out there. So I'm going to watch that for a bubble. I'd be careful of it. And then we're either going to be chilling up in this range, kind of like we did leading into 2025, or next couple months, we might get some more volatility depending on how the run it hot theme plays out. That should start to set up a lot more opportunities. But run it hot, you better not forget, it is actually very, very critical. And then the final thing I will tell you is this: the long term, bro. It's not about timing the market. It is about time in the market. I've said this for a while, and I think it's resonated with some of y'all, man, because I got to talk to a lot of new guys, young guys, and this is what I'm telling you, man, especially in a run it hot environment. Please, I beg you. Just remember, I begged you to get Intel. That's okay. I forgive you. I love you. I hope it helped, but like for real, do not wait for a crash. Don't play this game of it's too high. I've lost my chances, lost my hopes. Remember, all of these accounts, this account, the $35,000 account we have right now, it took us 2 years to get past 10K with just a couple $100s a month. But every time we started these accounts, even Colt Sister, the market was already at all-time highs. It's going to do this. It's going to start, keep melting up. It'll have a little pullback for a little bit and then keep doing its thing. It's about compounding, building, taking advantage of the quality while you can. That's why you notice any of these plays we've gotten, any of these last 12, 15 videos, man, you can kind of see where these companies are at. They don't look like the S&P chart, but look at how our long-term looks. So don't forget, man, you got to put your money to work. And if you do that year after year, it is almost going to guarantee you something more than if you're just kind of sitting there waiting to take advantage of the next crash. And again, I mean, I've been here for a while and you've seen it a lot. And like, this isn't this whole idea of I'm going to wait till a 30-40% pullback. It's not new and it usually doesn't work. So like I said in the beginning of the video, don't be reckless, don't be foolish about it, but you got a lot of opportunities. I hope this year I could show you some of them, but you are going to have to take action. And then this is the final thing, man. Please go watch some Charlie Munger videos. I was telling everybody, man, because as part of everything going on, whether we get excitement or not, I've been telling people this. All you have to do is avoid stupidity. You don't need to chase brilliance. All you have to do is avoid stupidity. That's what I'm saying. Find good, high quality companies, stuff that's going to be around here for 10 years minimum. Get them at adequate prices. If you could find a way to get through this year, whether they run it hot, whether run it hot fails, it doesn't matter. If you could build around that, oh, you're going to have a good time, baby. Avoid stupidity. It's going to be glorious for you. So, Chad, I love you all. God bless every single one of you. And I want to know, let's see, I don't know how y'all feel about the Adobes and all that, but I want to see what we're going to do this year. And I might make some more changes. I might not, but last year was a great one. The long term's good. And that's what I'm saying, man. You just got to start it and build it. And remember, it's going to take time, but once you get over all of that, you get over the FOMO and everything else, you are going to start building something beautiful. So finger to the sky, baby. You know the vibes. I'll see you tomorrow morning and happy holiday, all the holidays, baby. Bye.